Hey guys, today on Watch with Poppy, we are talking season 14, episode 1 of The Biggest Loser. Obviously, there are a lot of changes that have been happening at The Biggest Loser, so let's kind of run down some of those differences. One, obviously, the big change is that Jillian is back. Thank you. I just feel like The Biggest Loser is a better show with her, so I am excited that she is back. Now, one of the big changes this season is the introduction of kids to the kind of Biggest Loser story. So it seems like this season they're doing a really big push on the whole battle against childhood obesity. So they have these 3 contestants that they're including on the show who are children. There are 3 of them, so each of them got assigned one of the trainers. And then it looks like they'll be coming to visit the ranch from time to time throughout the season. But each of them was fantastic, their stories were compelling, and it's kind of a really exciting, I think, new kind of element that they've added to the show. Now, they did train the younger kids tonight, but they trained them separately from the adults, and differently, of course. So, you know, like, they didn't have Jillian, like, screaming her head off at these little kids, because that really would be considered some kind of child abuse, I'm sure. But it was definitely, you know, they definitely pushed them, but it just was different, and it was really cool, I think. Now, with the adults, there are a couple of changes as well. One thing I noticed was when they went to work out for the first time, like, before they headed into the gym, they didn't let them choose what teams they wanted to be on. They basically chose for them, and it was like they walked up to the gym and there was a list telling you who your trainer was and what team you were on, and that was it. And then also something that Jillian said before they went into the gym, it was kind of like, look, yes, you're divided into teams, but we are kind of all in this together. I don't know, it just made it seem less divided than it normally is. Another difference, which was pretty huge, was that this week at the weigh-in, there was no voting. You know, there was no voting people off the island. They changed the way they did that, and there's part of me that's hoping that this is something that continues. So at the weigh-in, you know, you had your 3 teams, and each of the teams weighed in, and normally what would happen is the team that had the lowest percentage of body weight lost would have to go off and basically decide who they were going to vote off that week. But instead, this week what happened was, if you were on the losing team, and you had the lowest percentage of body weight lost on your team, then you were the one that was eliminated, and that was it. There was no deliberation, there was no questions, there was no voting, you were just gone. And honestly, I really liked that because I feel like with the voting, a lot of times people got sent home that didn't deserve to go home, and it was a lot more about alliances and other things like that. So we'll see if they continue that. Tonight we're going to talk about 2 of the contestants that stuck out to me in this episode. One was Nikki. So let's talk about Nikki. Basically, Nikki decided to go home. Nikki was on Jillian's team and really kind of lost it the first day when they did the first big workout. Normally, right, when a contestant does this whole I want to go home business, it just kind of bothers me because I just think of the thousands of people who would kill to get that spot. And they get there and they give up and go home, right? That was my initial thought. But what I will say about this is that I just don't think Nikki was ready. And that was her point, and I think she was correct in making that point. I think for her, she got to the ranch, she had this expectation of what she thought it was going to be like, and it was completely different for her. Not just the experience, but I think the toll that it took on her emotionally. Like, you could just tell, like, by the look in her eyes, that she was just, like, zoned out, like, just not there, not, like, connected. I mean, it just was like, you could tell she just was unsettled. And there just came a point where she was working out with Jillian, she just kind of broke down, and Jillian just said to her, like, look, you're either ready to do this or you're not. And Nikki pretty much said, I'm not, I want to go home. And then she left. I don't know that that's ever happened before in the first week. So we lost a contestant. We lost 2 contestants in the first week because somebody got voted off too. Okay, the other person that stuck out in this episode was TC. He just had the most heart-wrenching story, you guys. And in fact, I feel like this episode was a tearjerker, just period. There was lots and lots of crying. It was just sad because in the end, he was the one who ended up getting voted off, and he had made this kind of great transformation in week 1. So to see him get voted off was really kind of a bummer for me. Okay, you guys, that is my recap and review of season 14, episode 1 of The Biggest Loser. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you soon. Bye.